Hi, this is Suhei again, and this is my webcam video. I noticed there's been like a couple of people watching my videos. It's been viewed a few times. I was like, oh god, next year I'll look better. um, my gastro bypass was denied for I don't remember why, but my initially when my doctor had written to them, I was denied. I think it was due to my insurance or for some reason, but then they called me up. um but then another person, like besides my PCP, wrote them a letter about me, and the pulmonary doctor, and I did a sleep study, and I woke up like choking, like I couldn't even breathe at like 5 in the morning. I had to get up. They ended the study. They were like, if you don't have to, I mean, if you want to leave, we can end it now. And I was like, yeah, I'll just end it now because I was there since 9 o'clock at night. So I passed out, and then in the wee hours of the night, I was just like, I kept losing my breath, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I can't breathe." And I got out of I got out of bed, and I was like, trying to control my breathing, and I had to stand up and stuff before I was able to feel okay again. And I get my pen. I have some braids in my hair. I don't think you can see them, but they're braids. Like, it goes down this way and this way and then back. So anyway, the pulmonary doctor got my results. They sent me to an exercise test too, and they said that I can exercise, but that my problem is like volume. They asked me if I prefer sweets over volume or whichever, and I said that I'm a volume eater. Like, I'm not really a sweets eater. I mean, I can have a lollipop or some M&Ms or something, but I won't have like candy or donuts or anything sweet like that every day. Mind you, I do drink a lot of like beverages, like that powder iced tea, that Tang, that I drink a lot of milk. I like to have cereal, coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, which In Shape magazine had an article about what to do and what not to do if you are expecting to get pregnant, if you're working on that, or it was like a lot of stuff, and it said that you mess with your hormones if you work out more than 5 hours a week. So I was like, I could do less than 5 hours a week. I mean, it doesn't seem so bad. I used to do it, but now that I'm in my 30s, like, I feel like an old lady. Like, I can't even function. Like, I go to get on the train for a few days, or if I'm working, babysitting, like that third day, if I don't have my naproxen, my painkillers, I mean, I'm messed up for like I go out for 3 or 4 days, and I'm messed up for like seven. Like, stuck in bed. I miss my appointments, and my doctor's like, "Well, where were you? What happened? You always come." And I was like, I couldn't get out of bed. I had no painkillers, so it was like I just had to wait it out until my body recuperated. So anyway, I did the exercise study, the pulmonary study. They took my blood, and the pulmonary doctor called the gastro bypass people and explained to them this comorbidity that I have to sleep with a mask now, um, to get oxygen into my nose while I'm asleep. But they haven't called me back. I'm gonna call if they don't get back to me by July or late June. Then I'm gonna call Allison Lee, the doctor for pulmonary cardio or something, and ventilation, pulmonary cardio ventilation, something like that. um I'm gonna call her and say that the company hasn't called them. I might just stop by her office and give her a letter that I write, because I don't want to like wait for her, like waiting for a doctor when you're a walk-in. That's like committing suicide, because you have to be there minimum of like 2 hours, because everybody else is there on time for their appointment and whatnot. So anyway, um when she called the gastro bypass people at 165th Street in Fort Washington, they called me back, and I scheduled an interview with them. They took my BMI, and it's like the average person above 35 is overweight. I'm like at a 41. I used to be at a 47, but I think it's because I lost some weight, because once I started doing the appointments and stuff for the comorbidities, um they started telling me like what I should not eat and what I should do, but it's like hard. Like they told me, stop eating the sour cream. And I used to eat like sour cream a lot, like as a meal with some chips and shit. And I stopped eating that, and I immediately lost 25 pounds just off sour cream. So I was like, damn, but they told me, so like now I'm like 284. I was 305 pounds, but now I'm like 284.4 or something like that. And, so what was I gonna say? um, they did a bunch of tests, and they took my blood, and I had smoked, I was like smoking, but not a lot, just a few days before. I mean, I knew, like, I hadn't smoked for a month, and then the first came, and I smoked on the 5th or the 4th, and then my appointment was on the 9th, and she took my blood, and she asked me, she was like, how do you feel about the marijuana? Do you think you can quit? And I was like, well, I mean, before I was going to the psychiatrist and they gave me anti-anxiety medication, I would say that I couldn't quit. But now that I'm taking Visceral, I feel like better, not as anxiety prone, no urges, no like out of my mind just going outside and doing the fuckets. And I can hold out longer. Like I'm up to 4 weeks of no smoking. But when I get paid, or like around that fourth week, if someone comes around and they're like, hey, like some family or some friends or whatever, then I like succumb to that. But I have to take it one step at a time, because I've been smoking since I was a teenager. And by the time I started working, I was already hooked on weed. And they say, yo, you can't get hooked to it, but you know what? I am, because I love that shit. I really do. I wish they would legalize it, or that after the surgery I could move to California where they sell it with an ID card. And I'll just do my thing, go to the doctor out there and get my weed license. My father used to have one, but he got it from the VA hospital. So like whenever he would get caught with bamboo or paraphernalia in Puerto Rico or New York, God rest his soul, he died December 12th last year, 2011. He would show his ID and they would just let him ride. Or they might give him a ticket or a court date or something like that, but they wouldn't arrest him. So that's pretty cool. Um, like I was saying, so now I finished everything. I did this endoscopy, and they like put a thing in my mouth to keep my jaw open, and they stuck a camera. But I was like tired, at the time I hadn't slept right, and But I went to my appointment anyway, you know. Usually I'm like too tired to even get up, but this time I was like, you know what, get your ass up. Whatever it is, you gotta do it, you know. So I went and I was like passing out as they were talking to me. They were like, if you relax, it could take a minimum of 8 minutes to finish. And this is like to take a picture of your esophagus, your stomach, your arteries, and since I don't have a gallbladder, you know, it's limited, you know, because I had a gallstone trying to get to my liver and they cut it out. They cut the whole gallbladder out, but they didn't cut me like profoundly. They did the little incisions with the laser or whatever treatment. And so they said they're gonna do that same thing, but that I would have to lose weight regardless on my own, because if my liver has too much fat on it, they won't be able to get to my stomach, and they'll have to cut me like having a baby, like that C-section scar, but not a C-section scar. It used to like the old C-section scar where they cut you down the middle of your stomach, and I do not want that. So like, you know, I've been just doing what they telling me. The hardest thing for me is that they told me to stop drinking when I eat, and I'm like I can't believe how hard that is, because that's like I grew up having with a glass of whatever with my meals. So like whenever I get hungry, I drink, and then I set myself up some food, and then I drink again. Like I drink before, I drink during, and then I drink after. And like they told me to stop doing that, and they gave me before I met the nurse practitioner and the dietitian, which you have to pay $250 for to see the dietitian. Before I met them, I was supposed to take a survey, and I did that survey, and you know what she told me? I mean, I had watched this survey a few times because I was like, I'm bugging out. Like, I have to get this right. I can't come off like an asshole, you know. Like I need to prove to them that I know what I'm doing, so that you know, they can trust me, because they don't want me to die on the table. They want me to be as proficient as possible, you know, and in complete control of myself. That's why they write that psychiatrist letter. That's why they require that psychiatry letter. So anyway, Jesus Christ, I was talking about something. I forgot what it was. I got the psychiatrist. She is like going on leave. Like, she is on leave now, but when I saw her, it was a couple of days before her surgery, but not for, she was having some other type of surgery. But I told her, you know, and she, oh, that's what I was gonna say. She had asked me how I did on the seminar, the quiz after the seminar, and I told her that the dietitian told me that I only got one wrong out of like a bunch. It was multiple choice, but I only got one wrong, and I was like, damn, which one was it? She was like, you know, don't worry about it. And I was like, cool, you know, one wrong, that's is all good, because my problem was that I had already applied like last year, and I did the seminar last year. So this year when they came around to it, they already had my results, and I couldn't log back into that program. So I couldn't improve my score. So I just watched the video again, and it's kind of long. There's like 10 videos or something like that, maybe a little less. And you know, it's just about the surgery, what it looks like, the doctors talking, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I know they do it at St. Luke's Roosevelt and other hospitals. but but I like Columbia, you know, like it's right near my house, and they're the best of the best, you know. They don't take no B students. You gotta have a you gotta have an A average and shit. So I show them my Columbia ID when I walk in, and they're just like, go ahead. I'm like, all right, and then I get lost in the building. So then I have to get the number out of my purse, give it to the receptionist on some random floor, and she calls down to the department that I'm supposed to be in, and they send me to the right floor, which is the fifth floor at 161 for Washington. I think it's 161. And so it's called the weight loss and metabolic surgery department, division, something like that. Weight loss and metabolic surgery. And they're really nice. They're really nice. They're really nice. But my thing is like that quitting that weed, because even though I can go up to a month, that one time will fuck me up. And they don't take urine. I can't just drink a few gallons of water and like clear my piss. They check my blood, so it's like no hiding that. But at least I was straight up with her. Yeah. And like after the 7th of the month, like I'm not smoking. That's why like I'm weary about visiting my friends that do smoke. Because it's like, party on, dude. Like people wanna just party and shit, and I can't, like, how am I gonna feel later on if I gain all the weight back? And I can't. And I'm going down to the minimum weight, like the maximum weight loss possible, which is 135 pounds. That's the lowest I can get with my frame at my height. So can you imagine me at 135? The doctor said, well, that I might feel more comfortable at 150. But like my thing is that I'm doing this for my old age. Like my grandmother, when she passes 112 pounds, she just she gets on a diet. Like she'll go back down to 100 pounds. And like I want to be like that. Like I don't want to pass like 145, because then I have to lose the weight and it's going to be hard for me. And I don't want to be one of these people that get all weird about how they look in their skinny bodies, and then you gain weight back and you stretch out your stomach. And I'm trying to be like not that, because when my metabolism shuts down pretty soon, it's going to be so much harder to lose the weight. And my thing is like I'm trying to get a hardcore, like I'm gonna start once I do. They said that I have to. The recovery time is 1 month. So 1 month after, I'm gonna try to move out of my brother's crib, get a job, and like not eat, because the first 2 or 3 months it's like liquid, or the first after 6 weeks you get off the liquids, and then it's pureed food, like baby food. And then like 6 months into it, then you start eating like a small amount of food, because your stomach is the size of half of an egg. And I'm not talking about an ostrich egg, I'm talking about like a little egg, those eggs you buy by the dozen. It's like half of that. And I'm like, yo, that's the size of, like, that's my esophagus, basically the bottom of my esophagus. But what it does do when they cut that stomach off, you don't get hungry. My sister-in-law has told me that you feel like sometimes she does feel like empty, but she doesn't overeat because of it. She just has to handle that feeling. And I have like a problem with my emotions, like I'm like really manic sometimes. Like I don't like to dwell in my emotions. Like I'm more of a mental type. Like I think it over, and as soon as I come to a decision or a final idea about something, my epiphany leads me to just go to the next subject. And not like, I don't like to what's it called, wallow in things. But I can't say that I don't, because sometimes, like I might be, it might take me a while to get over something, and I won't admit it to myself. and it's psychologically, I psych myself out. But I am gonna, it looks like I'm gonna do the surgery finally, and I'm really happy about it. The last thing is that on Wednesday the 13th, I am going to meet with the PCP that is taking over while my doctor is on maternity leave. She just had a kid or whatever, she's about to. So she won't be there. She wrote me a letter saying that she can't write me another letter because I would have to come in for 6 months of weigh-ins, which that is for Medicaid. I don't know about other insurances, but I know that Medicaid requires 6 months of weigh-ins to see how fat you get, like, over the months. But my Medicare does not require that, and I was trying to explain this to the receptionist, and after like 15 minutes of arguing with this woman, she goes over to a stack of envelopes and pulls out one with my name on it. I take it out, and the doctor's saying that, I have to do these weigh-ins, and I'm like, well, that's not what the sample letter said. They had crossed out the part about the weigh-ins. So they had given me also a prescription that details like what the letter should say from the PCP. And like my earrings. Woohoo. And my ring. Let me see my ring. Where is it? There it is. Oh, it's flowers. So anyway, now I have to say too, because when you go to the doctor, they're like, what are you here for today? And you can't have like multiple things because they only do like one, maybe they'll do two things for you for your appointment. And my thing is that I want a referral to to a chiropractor, like a sports rehabilitation, medicine clinic, something like that I can get massages and do stuff like that, electrodes and chiropractic stuff. Because like I said, like when I exert myself for a few days and I don't have my painkillers, I'm fucked up the next week. Like I can't handle, my body cannot handle all this weight that I have on me. So I just shut down and I become exhausted and I can't function. The second thing is that I'm gonna give them the little prescription, because they had given me a sample letter and a prescription, and a small prescription letter. So I gave back the example letter to the people with the letter that the PCP had written me, and um and so I don't have that sample letter anymore, and I have to give him something because he's gonna give me a hard time. It's not the person that my PCP recommended, but it's the one with the closest appointment to that day that I had made it. So I don't have to wait until August or September to get this letter from my PCP. I'll just get it on Wednesday, the 13th of June, 2012. So that's about it. I'm gonna be really weirded out because like I've never seen my face without all this like meat on it. And I'm just like, I'm really excited about it. I want to do some traveling and maybe get a part-time job and do stuff like that. um for a long time my goal was just to get my brain stable, because I have schizophrenia or whatever, schizoaffective disorder. So I'm like really manic, like I do a lot of shit, but now my body, I can't function like I used to in my 20s. Anyway, that's the deal. It's been a while since I turned this on, so I'm gonna have to let you guys go, and I'll try to tag you again after I get that PCP to write me a letter for the gastric bypass surgery. Bye. I love you, Shemar.